Dear Sugar, my question is about love.
Dear Sugar, my birth mother doesn't want to meet me.
Dear Sugar, I lost my job.
Dear Sugar.
Dear Sugar.
Don't
Dear
want to embarrass you, Mama. Dear Sugar. Dear Sugar, my question is about love.
Dear Sugar, my birth mother doesn't want to meet me.
Dear Sugar, I lost my job.
Dear Sugar.
Dear Sugar.
Don't want to
Sugar.
embarrass you, Mama. Dear
Sugar.
Sugar. Sugar. Signed, confused.
Curious.
Stuck.
Dear Sugars.
Dear Sugar, I need a little sugar in my coffee. We are back. Canadian-born funny lady, Academy Award and Golden Globe nominee Nia Vardalos has entertained us on stage, in film, and in print. Stage credits include Jenny and Company. We love that musical. An alumni of the Second City in Chicago and Toronto. She even worked the box office, you guys. Her film, writing, acting credits include My Big Fat Greek Wedding, its sequel, Independent Spirit, and People's Choice Awards. Of course, Connie and Carla, and her directorial debut for the independent feature, I Hate Valentine's Day, which I do. Her film and television acting credits include My Life in Ruins, For a Good Time Call, Graves, Jane the Virgin, Law and Order, SVU, dun dun dun, My Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, and more. Her memoir, Instant Mom, is a New York Times bestseller, and all the proceeds are donated to adoption groups. You can currently see Nia recreate a role she originated, Sugar. I always have to say it that way, and it's probably not even pronounced that in the show, but Sugar. In Tiny Beautiful Things at the Pasadena Playhouse. Pasadena Playhouse is a gorgeous space, has been entertaining people on the stage for over 100 years. Tiny Beautiful Things is about Sugar, an anonymous online advice columnist to whom thousands of people have turned for words of wisdom, honesty, and hope. At first unsure of herself, Sugar finds a way to weave her own life experiences together with the deep yearning and real problems of her readers, creating a beloved column about the monstrous beauty, endless dark, and glimmering light at the heart of being human. If that's not reason enough to go see the show, I don't know what is. She created the stage adaptation based on the New York Times bestseller of the same name by Cheryl Strayed. And tonight's theme, we have been talking about women making waves in entertainment. I'm thrilled making her On the Rocks debut, the first woman that I've been excited for to, get ready for a date. I even shaved my own sideburns today because I was so excited. Please welcome Nia Vardalos.
Hi. I shaved my sideburns too. Great.
No, I was so nervous. I was like, I don't have time for a haircut, And then I was like, how you do stupid things in the bathroom to yourself? And you're like, I was like,
yeah.
I'm gonna have no hair.
Yeah.
Well.
No, not us. No.
Thank you so much. So, we're pre-recording this because right now you actually are probably stepping on stage at Pasadena Playhouse.
Yes, I'm not here. I'm a hologram.
Yes. We are so high-tech around here. I have to know, I have been such a fan of yours. I've seen everything that you've done, and I'm sure you've heard that a lot. But through your personal stories that you've shared through films, of course, Big Fat Greek Wedding, your book, and your really fun interviews that you can see all over YouTube, do people assume the kind of person that they're going to meet when they meet you, or even on set, when you walk on set, it's like, oh, it's Nia, it's fun, it's this?
Actually, I get a lot of love, which is nice, like at Starbucks, before I brush my teeth, nice.
Oh,
People are
please.
very sweet. But I normally get this. People will run up, like I'm their best friend, and say, oh, I love you, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And I go, thank you so much. And then they go, what's your name?
Oh,
It happens a lot.
really?
Yes, because I have a last name with a lot of vowels, so people give up.
Yeah.
They go, it's Nia, Nina, Mia, something, on V something Greek, and they give up.
And your real name is Antonia.
Antonia Eugenia.
Yeah. Oh,
I was named after both grandmothers, and then my parents call me Nia so that neither grandma would stab the other.
But you have such a positive attitude in all of your material. Do you ever just want to be in a bad mood and be like, I don't want to be smiley, I don't want to be friendly? How are you the most different than who we see on camera?
I am the most different in this role on stage, not to segue to sell tickets, because it's selling out. But what I'm saying is I really took on this role because it was outside my comfort zone and super scary for me. As we were saying, I have these chipped nail polish things and this fake tattoo and all, this one back here. And
So sexy.
it's so, ooh.
Very sexy, and they're so lifelike, by the way.
Yeah, they do a very, very good job. Marie puts them on for me, which is amazing, at the theater, and they last for about 2 weeks. But what I'm saying is that's the most different thing I've ever attempted, was to play Cheryl Strayed. Tommy Kail told me his direction was, you are not doing an imitation of Cheryl Strayed. That was really good for me to hear.
Well, and Tony Award winner, by the way, Tony. Reading the book and deciding that you want to adapt it, it must have been pretty important for you because everybody watches every new project that you have. Like, okay, what now? After the huge success of your first like big film, does that weigh on you sometimes? It's like,
No.
No?
Because I'm like this. It's like, look, here's the thing. That happened, and then you can just exhale. Right? And then you can just do creative things. Like people keep saying, are you afraid of being a one-hit wonder? It's like, I had a hit. So,
yeah, and you're
you
like,
know?
look at my money I made.
I'm not worried. I'm like, oh, I'm so depressed as I drive to the bank. What? I got to do a movie about Connie and Carla. I used all the white hot power that came at me and went, let's do a movie about drag queens. So I don't really worry about it. Then when I wrote my book, and yes, it became a New York Times bestseller, but I donate all the proceeds to charity.
Right.
You gotta give back, because if you're just trying to collect and amass successes, all it adds up to is you're an empty shell of a very disheartened human, and then you have no friends. So it's not worth it.
Well, and that must put a roadblock to your creativity. If you're always thinking, I have to do the next big hit and I have to please all the audiences, what were the things that they laughed at the most? It takes you out of your head of storytelling.
If that was what I was like, I would have done my Big Fat Greek Wedding too, immediately, which is what they wanted, but I didn't have an idea until my daughter, my real daughter, started kindergarten.
Yeah.
And on that day, I was crying the loudest, a lot, Greek mom, and this woman went, oh my God, just listen, in 13 years they're going to go off to college. This is nothing. And I almost killed her.
That's the next film by me.
Yeah, I was like, how dare you speak this truth to me that one day my daughter would leave me? Yeah. And that's when I realized, oh, we morph into our parents. I had become the parents from my Big Fat Greek Wedding. There's my sequel. So if the answer, why did it take me 13 years? I didn't have an idea. You can't force creativity. It's like trying to have sex when you don't want to.
Please, I'm from West Hollywood. We all know about that. It was like, not tonight, honey. I have a headache. Our theme for tonight's show has been women in entertainment. Big Fat Greek Wedding was a real, like, roll up your sleeves and get it done movie. You had some support, but really at that time, it was wildly popular years before our current trends right now. We're talking about body positivity, ethnic diversity, gender equality. These are stuff we're talking about now. Whether Hollywood is being sincere in its discussions about them, who knows? But this was so before any of that.
Yeah.
What kind of Hollywood struggles did you have in getting the film made?
Well, I had a struggle in that it was not about a Hispanic family and it wasn't about an Asian family, visible minorities. It was about a family that no one really knew what to do with.
Nobody knew about
a Greek family.
What do they do other than Opa and crash dishes?
Yeah, and I was having trouble getting acting work. My agent told me, get ready.
Yeah.
She told me I wasn't pretty enough to be a leading lady and not fat enough to be a character actress. Like, what?
See, I would have taken that as a challenge to be like, you want to see me eat?
I could be fat by this afternoon. Yeah. And I remember being so sad for her that she had marginalized herself, in that she herself was judging another woman's ability to be cast simply by societal pressures that had come on her.
Yeah.
So I left with love, drove home, swearing at her, in my car, and then realized if the problem is that I'm Greek, because she said, you're Greek, you're not this, you're not that, you're not this, you're not that, you're not pretty enough, you're not fat enough, you're just in between, and I can't get you work. And I thought, well, if she can't get me work, I'm not gonna wait for the phone to ring, I'm gonna call myself. So I had gotten married a year earlier, and I took every story that has ever happened to me in my entire life. My Aunt Bula, who had a lump on the back of her neck that she claimed was her twin. My dad putting Windex on our pimples to get rid of them, all those things. Yeah. I just wrote them down in a list, and I borrowed a friend's computer, and I wrote the screenplay. I didn't go out, I didn't tell anybody, I just sat down and I wrote what I hoped. I was so naive, I was like, maybe I could play a bridesmaid. And then my agents, of course, had dumped me. I didn't have any representation. I was doing voiceover, so I had a lawyer, who's my lawyer to this day, John Moonves.
You did Star Wars, by the way. You still have a lot of fans.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was like, it was really an experience of getting the bills paid by doing voiceover, and plus I'm a professional florist. I thought I could waiter again or bartend. I was not worried about making a living because coal mining's hard. Just if you're here trying to be an actor, that's a luxury.
Coal mining those outfits.
Yeah, yeah. It's hot. But I bet they're skinny.
Very slimming, and like because you have all the soot, and black is very slimming.
Looks good.
Red carpet ready.
Yeah. So anyway, I wrote the movie, couldn't get it read by anyone because I didn't have an uncle who ran a studio.
Yep.
So I saw Julia Sweeney's show, and God said ha, and I went ha ha. So I jumped on stage and started performing the material from the screenplay as a one-person show. So the screenplay came first, the one-person show came second. Rita Wilson came to the show. She's of Greek descent, as you know. She said this should be a movie. We always joke that I handed her the screenplay so fast her hair flew back.
That's how you have to do it, though. Don't let it rest.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then Tom Hanks and his partner Gary Getzman came to the very next shows, and that was it. Then they called me and said, we're going to make this into a movie. And suddenly I was playing the bride. I mean, all parts of it are kind of crazy, except here's the lesson. Do the work. I wrote the screenplay. If they had come and said this should be a movie, and then a year later I went, hey, you remember that show you saw in Hollywood? The fact that I had done the work is the lesson to myself. So to this day, whenever I'm not sure about what I'm supposed to be doing, I write. I just stay quiet and I just write something, and maybe it'll get made and maybe it won't. But it makes me be a better writer and a better person.
Well, I have to tell you, there's a sincerity in actual storytelling. You know, we were talking before the show about everything is a reboot of a reboot of a reboot.
Yes.
Where are the original ideas? And as an audience, I don't like going to the movies anymore because I'm seeing these stories that have been rehashed and I know what's going to happen. I'm not excited.
Yeah.
But when I see somebody's actual story or a sincerity in a story that they're telling, it's a whole different type of movie. It doesn't need the CGI. It doesn't need A-list actors across the board.
Yeah.
It's a different experience, and I think Hollywood is kind of missing out on that.
I agree. I mean, we were an indie film because no studio. They did. I found out later. Sorry, I found out that the company, Tom Hanks and Gary Getzman's company, Playtone, had sent the script out, and studios had said, love the script, lose the girl. Like, there was no way they were going to let me star in it. Everyone protected me. Rita Wilson never told me that, which is very sweet, right? I only found it out way later, but they were like, well, we want to keep the girl. So they found independent financing, and we made the movie.
So there has to be that moment that after everything, you're like, like everybody that said no.
No, I'm a middle child Canadian. I would never go, ha. I just don't. I just go, thank you.
Well, I'm doing it for you.
But it actually helps me too. If I think something is weird and different, I don't try to conform it to something that I know will sell, because then it's creatively dead.
Yeah.
You got to do weird stuff, and that's why, hey, maybe I would own my own island by now if I kept doing the Greek wedding movies, but I would be creatively dead. So I did these indie films that maybe they weren't ever as successful, but this is why I can talk to you without a tick, and why I have friends.
You haven't sold your soul to the devil,
and
so to speak.
Family, yeah, exactly.
Now, talk to me. We have a lot of entertainment people that watch the show. Talk to me about some of the peaks. And you hit the scene with such a high peak.
Yeah.
Then it became a TV series that didn't do so well. Some of the projects that you've done, were a big hit and critically received very well. But there's always those peaks and valleys in a career. And how do you mentally get through some of the times where it's like you don't get the news that you want?
You absolutely have to remember that no one's opinion matters but your own. You have to remember this. I'm going to tell you something that no one remembers. My Big Fat Greek Wedding got terrible reviews and good reviews. Terrible. Variety said I didn't have the looks to be a leading lady. And then I got nominated for an Academy Award for a screenplay that people said was the worst screenplay they'd ever seen. And it went on and on and on. Then I got nominated for a Golden Globe, and then I won the Independent Spirit Award and the People's Choice Award. Which time was I happiest in the whole process? When I got that phone call and they said, we're going to make your movie. You can't find personal happiness from a form of success that has been told to you from other people. Otherwise, you're just searching, yearning, or you're creating, will this sell? Will this sell? Can't do that. You just got to keep doing what you do. The TV show was sold before the movie came out, and I was contractually obligated to do that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You mentioned that quote about Variety saying about your first film and about you personally, and they've had this whole diversity movement. Even one of my friend actors was highlighted in there. It's interesting how the media kind of changes. I mean, because that's pretty vicious, to say.
I've read it about Tina Fey. I've read about Melissa McCarthy. Somebody said, a female said, Tina Fey shouldn't be in film, she doesn't know how to walk. Let me ask you something. Would you ever say that about Will Ferrell? No. But we're so hard on women.
Yeah.
In fact, because I go to all my test screenings, it's like being at your own funeral. And you read and you hear what they say about your film, which is excellent advice, because if you are not sure if a connective thread was there, you go stitch it in, etc. There's a lot that stays on the cutting room floor. It's good. It informs your process. But if you don't have a tough skin, it's shocking. But what I've learned is how hard women are on other women. And that's my goal constantly. Like when anything happens and if somebody goes, wow, I go, isn't that great? Isn't she wonderful? She worked so hard for it. Like, stop. We have to stop. We have to stop.
I love that. I really, really love that. And like other actors on the show have said, is it's not really competition because there's work out there for everybody, and nobody can do exactly what you do.
There isn't a finite amount of success or work. It lays and piles at your feet. When success comes your way, it is your duty and your job to share it. So, I wrote Lainey Kazan as the lead of My Big Fat Greek Wedding 2.
We love Lainey on the show.
Exactly. When is a 70-year-old woman going to get to wear a wedding dress? When I write it. That was fun for me. With this ensemble piece with Tiny Beautiful Things, we cast to reflect the current population. We did not worry about who's the most... Can I say it?
Yeah.
I mean, who's the most fuckable? We didn't worry, because that is ridiculous, and that is how people are casting things, and they're failing. Because what's working right now? Stranger Things. Stranger Things. Those kids look like us, and that's why we love that show.
Yes.
Good storytelling is good storytelling is good storytelling.
Yeah. Especially at that time when I was that age in Stranger Things, girl, I looked a little odd.
Oh, for sure. I had bangs, glasses. Not that I'm hot now. I mean, but
You
I
are
was
hot, by the way.
a mess. It took me 17 hours to look like this. And
Same.
Yeah, same, right? Everything's held in with a series of gears and pulleys.
CGI, folks.
For sure. But yeah, no one looks like that. And I know I've stood right beside these people on the red carpet. What I absolutely hate is the movement to call women of color or women in general who do not fit a size 2 to call us real women. Because that woman who's a size 2 is also a real woman. We're all real women. And we cannot marginalize one type of woman to embrace another. Just embrace us all.
Yeah. Well, speaking of being a powerhouse as a woman in entertainment, your first directorial, I Hate Valentine's Day. What was it like the first day on set, knowing that this is my vehicle, I'm calling the shots? What was it like the very first moment that you were doing your very first scene?
I should have quit. Because what happened is we started the budget. I think I was offered a $1.9 million budget to make a very small film, and I said yes, I wanted to do it. They said, we'll give you the budget to direct if you start it with John Corbett. Okay, John and I love each other, yes. Well, on that day, we didn't have a DP. Our director of photography quit. We got hit with New York fringes, so half my budget went into this and this and this. All of a sudden, I had nothing, no money to make a movie. But I looked around, there were hundreds of people that I had employed by simply sitting in my little office and writing fade in, and I didn't have the heart to just walk out, but I should have. That's what I've since learned. If things aren't going well, just say, this is not what you promised me. I can't put my name on this.
Wow.
Now, the movie made money. The DP who flipped out and kept saying, I can't do this. I had just become a mom. My daughter was almost 3 years old. She had brand new parents when we met her, and she was the bravest person I know. And I thought, this kid's walking around in a diaper, sucking a bottle, is braver than this baby? Yeah. And I would just link my arm through his and go, walk with me. I will fire you. If you do not stop this, you have to stop talking to me like that on the set, and you have to get through this movie, or you're gone. Oh yeah, I can do it. I talked to my therapist. Yeah, I can do it. It's like,
welcome to Hollywood.
But I should have. I should not have let him DP 1 minute after he started saying, I can't do this. If you can't spot the obstructionist on your set, keep looking. Keep looking, because there is always a naysayer. There is always someone who is not told you can do this. By their inner voice, by their mother, by their theater teacher, by the manager at McDonald's who said, run that fryer. I've never run it. You can do this. Run it! You have to remember that there are people who are obstructionists and don't want success. Get them off your set. And that's what I should have done that day. But we had a good time, and the movie made money.
That's pretty, drastic advice. Everybody says, believe in yourself and believe in your dreams, which is a great message. But like, that's a real piece of advice. It's like black and white. This is exactly what you should do.
Yeah, you
and
should
not
really look.
Guess yourself.
Yeah. If you can't spot the person that everyone's talking about on set, it's you. That's my other piece of advice.
Uh-oh. Sorry, Kurt. Earlier this evening, we talked about the assumed role of women in society, from being a wife, being a mother, taking care of the home. But in relation to roles behind the camera, in front of the camera, how do you play? And you were very open through your column with the Huffington Post about becoming a mother. How did you play with that dichotomy of your role as a mother, role in your career, and how do you meld that today?
Well, I used to be able to write until the writing stopped. I used to be able to just sit down, make a sandwich, write for 17 hours until it came to me. Well, now my time is much more different, and I applaud the Pasadena Playhouse because when Danny Feldman, I'll say it again, when Danny Feldman, give his name the credit he is due, asked me to come and do the play, I said, here's the deal, I can't do matinees because I'm working. I have another film and a TV series that I'm working on, and also my daughter needs me. So I said, I can't do matinees, and can I split the role with someone, which would be amazing to get to hire somebody. Right. It's the moment of giving somebody a job is the greatest thing. I love it, love it, love it. I know now why Tom Hanks, Rita Wilson, and Gary Getzman made all my dreams come true, because it's fun. It's really fun. So I split the role, I write, I get up very early in the morning, 4 o'clock a.m.
Girl.
Yeah.
I'm going to bed at 4.
Yeah. I used to be that girl. Yeah. Yeah. Right now during the play, I am not getting up to write because I owe the production my time and my focus. But when I'm not doing a play at 8 p.m., I get up at 4, I write for about 2 hours, I get my daughter up, breakfast, piano practice, get to school, then workout class, write. Gotta write. Write until it stops. Which sucks because, as I said, you can't force creativity, but some days I think I have to meet this deadline. I'm very fiscally responsible and I'm never going to disappoint a studio. But it's different. It's different when you're a parent. You have to get it done.
Well, and I'm sure priorities switch too. You
Yeah.
know, if your kid's sick, that's priority.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I love that you've shared your life story with us on so many different levels. You're doing the show on a different coast.
Yeah.
Tiny Beautiful Things. Different coast, different audiences.
Yeah. Let me take this off because it is hot in here.
It is.
We're
it's my
in
Latin
LA.
heat, Nia.
Woo. Oh, okay, we're good. We're good. How's it flashing? Okay.
And some of the original cast, by the way. How is this production different than what was seen on stage at the Public Theater?
This direction is from Thomas Kail's direction at the Public Theater. His associate, Sherry Eden Barber, came here and directed us. It is Tommy Kail's footprint. There are 2 ways of doing the play. As you know, there are about 15 production, maybe 25, of Tiny Beautiful Things going up all over the United States right now and through the next 2 years. They licensed the play, and in the playwright's notes, I wrote, please do what you want with this production, because I believe art is to be interpreted.
Interesting.
So the only thing I ask is to please cast indicative of the population, so that we're not just seeing a lily white cast up there.
Yeah.
Nothing against white people, but let's have some other people too.
Right,
you know.
right. Amen.
Yeah. And so. Wait, what was your question? I forgot.
How is the show different than
Different.
what we saw? Yeah.
Okay, so we have the original production, came to Pasadena Playhouse. We have Natalie Willems-Torres. I keep going that on there. I want to get people's names right so badly that I'm getting them wrong. Natalie Willems-Torres, who is my sister from another mister. She's the greatest. She's been with us since the first production. She informed my writing of the piece, because when I saw how funny she was and how poignant she could be, I changed things and started to write to her strengths. She knocks it out of the park comedically. On stage, she is the sassy wench who tells me off, and a moment later, she plays my mother. So she's incredible. We have Teddy Cañas, who also is my online troll, because in adapting the book, I realized, I was like, there's no troll.
Yeah.
Of course, if you're online, there's a troll, but
Always.
I asked Cheryl Strait, and because it was on a literary rumpus, there wasn't a troll, and I was like, we're having a troll.
Yeah.
So he is really a hostile and presses my buttons as this very funny online troll. really annoying Cheryl Strayed on stage. And then at the end of the piece, he guts us, fillets us like a fish. Just open on a griddle with his performance as a grieving dad. We have a new cast member because our cast member Hubert got work in New York. He's going to be in the Publix production. So we have a new cast member, Giovanni Adams, and we have Samira Luckman-Harris. Let me talk to you about Giovanni. Oh, Giovanni slays us he's funny, and then he absolutely takes us to the ground with his discussion about an abusive father, a narcissist father. Samira Luckman-Harris splits the role of Sugar with me. She is gentle and sweet and fierce and poignant. She's amazing. We have Sarah Hollis, and we also have Adam Smith, and they are also, we say we are all Sugar. We don't use the word understudy in our production. We are all in the cast. Today some of us speak, and on other days others of us speak, but we are all Sugar.
You can tell. I've seen the rehearsal photos on Instagram and on the PasadenaPlayhouse.org website. I've seen the production photos. There's a palpable chemistry that I see from you guys as cast and crew.
Yes.
And it's pretty exciting. And to have you at Pasadena Playhouse in such a different role for you.
Yeah, it's really different.
What a great treat for audiences. Going from the fast-paced environment of filmmaking to going through a stage production where there are the rehearsals, there's the run-throughs, there's the notes, there's the preparing, there's the doing the show over and over again. That's a whole different energy than on film. How, as an actress, do you adapt that kind of energy?
Well, with film, you always wish you had another take.
Right.
And as a writer, whenever I try and craft the perfect sentence and then the actor says it and I can see she wants another take on the film set, but you got to move on. And I empathize so much. I understand that. Well, with theater, you get another take and another one and another one. Tommy Kail's direction to us was so poignant and perfect, and this is what Sherry Eden Barber said to us in her direction. You make the soup once at a time. Today you're following a recipe given to you by your grandmother. Well, tomorrow if you make that soup, it's a new soup. And on and on and on. So I say I make a cake because I like sugar.
Sugar. And I have to say sugar every time that way. It's so weird. This always fascinates me. 30 minutes before curtain goes up, what is it that you are doing backstage?
Oh, that's fun. Okay.
I love this question.
30 minutes backstage, we, well, in New York, we got to share a dressing room, and the Pasadena Playhouse is big, and we all have our own space, and we hate it. So we're just in each other's rooms, you know. Natalie and I always have a ritual. We look in the mirror and make sure neither one of us is wearing too much makeup, because we can feel Tommy Kail in New York going, "Get that makeup off!" So we compare eyebrows to make sure neither one of us is wearing too much, etc. We talk, we laugh, we eat a lot.
Really?
We eat our feelings. Oh yeah, snacks and food. Yeah.
Girl.
Yeah, we really, we drink some warm tea, a lot of water. I drink so much water before I go
on stage? I'd be like,
oh, I know, I have a catheter in.
That's a whole other movie.
Can you imagine if that was true? I just said it, it'd be like,
oh, TMZ, are you listening? Being so involved in the adaptation and used to being also behind the camera in the creation, working with the director, I know you've said some really nice things about working with both directors. There has to be that moment, though, where you must have to step back as the actress and be like, okay, I trust enough, even though you're so used to working it out.
I actually have a ritual that I do. Peter saw it. Oh, I'm pointing at him. You can't see him. There's someone off camera.
Oh, but he's fabulous, by the way.
Yes. Yeah. I have a ritual before every production because I am usually the writer. And I hand the script, figuratively, literally, to the director and say, you're in charge. Because there can only be one Helmer on the set, anywhere. And so, of course, it's always a collaboration. But this way, on film sets, if I'm in the makeup trailer and someone asks me, what did you mean when Aunt Vula says, I go, come on, let's go talk to, and we go talk to the director. Because that gives them the right to question a line and to need a third party who can fix it, and then they can come to me, and I'll fix anything if it doesn't feel right. On Big Fat Greek Wedding movies, they know their characters. Yeah. They know them. So if something doesn't feel authentic, I'm listening. I'm listening to how can I help? How can I make it feel? Lainey Kazan had a question about her scene where she's questioning, should I ever have gotten married in Big Fat Greek Wedding 2.
Yeah.
And I loved that input, and I went to my mom and said, okay, let's talk. Traditional Greek woman. Let's talk about, did you ever doubt getting married? And all these things came out, and they informed my writing again.
I love talking to you. I could talk with you for hours. I wish there was a few bottles of wine, though, because I think
know.
we'd have some, like, real good talks.
I hate that I can't drink before the show.
No. Real fast, my gays would never forgive me if we don't talk about Connie and Carla. An amazing film. We got to see the musical side of you. To hear you sing and to see you dance was magical. That whole movie was magical from start to finish. Some of the one-liners that are still said in West Hollywood to this day. Of course, the late Debbie Reynolds being part of it. Your chemistry with Toni Collette, and you guys share like the same first real name, right?
That's right,
Yeah.
Antonia, yeah.
How did you guys build the chemistry so quickly on that set?
Well, that had 3 weeks of rehearsal. And so it was probably rehearsed like a play. We had dance rehearsal, we had singing rehearsal, we had harmonizing rehearsal. We had so much time. And so that's how we built that chemistry. Time and trust. You know, you gotta just trust each other.
But like, it takes time. I mean, and time is money.
Yeah.
So sometimes you don't get that on films, and
No.
sometimes it's evident. I was ready for Connie and Carla, 12 sequels, the prequel, the graphic novel. Like, we need
know.
some more Connie and Carla.
I agree. And when you say my gays, by the way, my gays too.
Oh,
God
girl,
bless.
I know.
God bless.
Everybody was so excited. I'm like, I get to meet her.
Oh my God, there's nothing more fun than when I went to Rage. I was telling you off camera.
Yeah.
I went to Rage and saw these amazing actors performing all these songs from musicals that we love, and to see them do Connie and Carla just slayed me. I jumped up.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I got to get up with these.
They must have
people.
wet their pants. We're going to play a little rapid fire before you go, and we're going to let you get ready for the
Okay.
show
We're
tonight,
both
which you are
sweating.
doing right now. It is very
Hot
sweaty.
in here.
Kurt,
Okay.
will you snap a few pictures for our Twitter, Instagram? Okay, entertainer that has passed that you would love to have lunch with.
Oh, Mary Tyler Moore.
Oh, interesting. I've never had that response.
Yeah.
Yeah, talk about
She's
about
pretty great.
a
Trailblazer
strong-
for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
totally imagine. Most embarrassing song on your playlist.
Oh, Enya. I work out to her.
That is so weird. I do that one remix where it's like sail away, but it's like a little electronica. I do that. Not that I go to the gym and cardio, but so. Your biggest pet peeve.
Liars.
Oh, okay, good.
Mm-hmm.
Celebrity crush, and don't say John Corbett.
Oh, celebrity crush, Bette Midler.
Oh, yes! Oh my God, Connie and Carla, too.
3.
There's 3 of them?
Yeah, I know.
Love
Wouldn't there
it.
be 3 of them?
Write it down, Peter. You are directing the reboot of a musical that's going to be a film. Which musical is it?
Company.
Yes.
Yeah, gotta be, right?
Well, you know, Patti LuPone
I
heated
know.
things up.
I would do a non-binary version of Company. I would have all different genders playing all
Yeah.
the different roles. I think it's something that needs to be explored. I think we don't have enough. Love, Simon. My daughter's generation, they're 13. They went to that
Yeah.
movie multiple times.
Greg Berlanti.
There's just like there was a market for a Greek film, there is a market for this film. They are so open and loving. Sure, we live on the coast. I'm sure they're like that in New York too, but I think all over the States and all over the world, I think people are much more open and accepting. So let's do that version of Company.
Let's do it. Stephen Sondheim, are you listening?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Chins up, boobs out, it's showtime.
Yes.
You gotta head to the theater. Go see Tiny Beautiful Things at Pasadena Playhouse now through May 5th. Very limited. Tickets are going like hotcakes, so you gotta go. Their opening night was unbelievable with every star under the stars. And Reese Witherspoon was all excited. She was like Instagramming her program.
Oh my God, that was amazing. Reese Witherspoon and I have both played Cheryl Strayed.
Oh, how funny.
And we got to take a picture
that's
together
so
of that.
awesome.
Isn't that great?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's another movie in there too. Go to PasadenaPlayhouse.org. If you haven't been to Pasadena Playhouse, you are missing out. It's a beautiful venue with so much history. Of course, this beautiful show with a great cast and a great opportunity to see Nia on stage and personal. Go see it. Even fly into Southern California. Go see it. Is there a movie version?
There might be, yeah. I like your thing. Let me come over here.
Yeah.
I like your thing. Let's see. Where are we? How's your thing?
Oh my God, we're so cute.
Okay, I just want to point this out. We look related.
Oh my God.
Why can't we have Connie, Carla,
Connie,
Bette
Carla.
Midler? Bette Midler is going to be Rachel, and their cousin Eric. Let's just make up a name
I'm
for
all
you.
for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eric, though?
You don't want to be Eric? What's your name? You want to be your real name?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
How about my name's Alexander, but I keep trying to say that my name's Xander, but it's not taking with everybody, but I'm forcing it
You
to
can't
happen.
make your own nickname.
Yeah,
You just
okay,
can't.
okay.
No. Okay. Listen, everybody watching, please give us a name for Alexander. If you don't like Eric, fair enough. I will take your hatred of my pitch. But just give us a. But don't you think we look? This is crazy.
You guys, this is so exciting. My heart is beating like a million miles a
Where's
minute.
your camera? Is it there?
It's here, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so let's do, okay, now we're going to do something. This is a smoldering take that John Corbett taught me. You look over to the left of the camera and you think about something you're dying to eat at the end of the take. Smolder it. Ready?
Do you have to do the voice too?
Yeah, a little bit. Smolder it.
Smolder.
Nice work. We're hired.
You guys, it's been another episode of On the Rocks radio show. Nia, where can our listeners and viewers follow you on social media?
Oh, I'm under the very secret name of @Nia Vardalos.
Yes, and I love it so much. What a complete treat. Thank you. We love women in film. Keep doing you, girl. We're going to see you on stage. If you haven't read her book, please read her book. And I can't wait to see what's next. TV and movie.
There you go.
On?
Yeah. Can't.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Pasadena Playhouse. Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Kurt. We'll see you next week.
Thank you. Bye.
This has been On the Rocks with Alexander, every Tuesday at 7 p.m. on Universal Broadcasting Network. Find me on Facebook on the Rocks Radio Show. Tweet me or Instagram me at On the Rocks On Air. See you next Tuesday!